Hello everyone. I hope everyone is doing really well and is safe at their homes. So how are you all? Yes, now the picture is more clear. So let's get started. First of all, let me say hi to everyone. So hello Hadeep, hello Lovepreet Gill, hello Akashdeep, hello Harsh, hello Aman. I'm doing really well, Aman. Thanks for asking. Hello Amrit, hello Devesh. Hi Diksha, how are you? Yes, I'm doing well. Hope you're doing well too. Jay Patel, hello Dev, hello Sneha, hello Navdeep. I hope you guys are doing really well, and hello Kriti. So first of all, let's interact. So anyone who is like want to interact with me, so there is an option of live chat with the like button and the dislike button. You can see a live chat option, so you can like talk to me over there. So just you can say hello, hi, tell me from where you guys are and from how much time you're preparing for IELTS and how's your IELTS preparation going. So Kriti, hello Amrit, hello Maganpreet, hello Jatin, hello Archit, hello Sam, hello Lovepreet. Today Rohit, we are doing academic, our writing task 1 for the comparative graph. So we are doing series of writing task 1. So what I am planning in the future is that next I'm thinking that we should do live classes of our writing task 2. But when it comes to a writing task 2, I don't think that we can do it like on each Saturday. So I'm planning something like maybe on alternate days I can take classes or something like that, or maybe on a daily basis. So tell me quickly who all are interested, who will be attending live classes if I take it on a daily basis, or mostly like in a like on an alternate day, and tell me all about it. So mostly I'm planning on an alternate day like Monday, Wednesday and Friday, or we can go on Tuesday, Thursday and Tuesday, Thursday, and on Saturday. So tell me who all are interested and at what time you guys feel that we should conduct it. So I'm planning maybe same time around 5. I'm planning that maybe we should do that, right? So that I don't really think that we can do that if I go on write teaching task 1 like I explain half on the topic one day and then on the other day it doesn't make really sense. So that's why I'm planning that I should start it very soon. So tell me who all are interested and at what time you are, on what time you can join. Great. Oh wow. Okay, great. Yes, Sachit, I know. Thank you so much for doing that. Okay, great. So, so of course I will be announcing it on my channel. Maybe from next to next week we can do that, or from next week. Let's see. So, Navdeep, if you are a beginner, you can start by watching my first class from the introduction video. Today we are doing writing task 1. It is a continuation with the previous classes, and of course you will learn something new. Hello Mayuri, I hope you're doing well. Okay, at 5. Okay, everyone is saying 5, I guess is fine, right? So I would plan something around 5 only, uh, right? So that we can do. Great. Okay, great. Okay, so let's get started now. Let's get started with our today's topic, which is writing comparative graphs. So if I talk about, okay, Devesh, mostly I won't be starting next week because I have few things to take care of. But maybe from next to next week we can start, like from 14th, maybe 14th, 15th, right? We can start by that. Of course, I will be doing an announcement on my channel. so that you guys can watch it. So till now, if we talk about our writing task 1, we have done a lot of things. We have done one class on basics, we have done one class on process chart, we have done our last class on the graph with trends. So what are graphs with trends? When we have a lot of years and we need to compare one year to another, so those are basically graphs with trends. Now there are some graphs where the time period doesn't change, or there is not a lot of development related to time. So what we need to do is we need to compare the situations. So if we talk about comparing the situation, those are basically the graphs without trend. For example, if I talk about bar graph or maybe pie chart and years are not given in it, so any chart in which years are not given, that is basically a graph without trend. So let's get started with it because we have to cover. Okay, let's get started then. So we will be covering a lot of vocabulary today. We will be doing a lot of things, right? So first thing, how to write about comparative graphs. What I have told you, comparative graphs are basically graphs that are or a table without a trend. Okay, so trend is basically when you see years and you know that okay, from one year to the second there is some change. But if it doesn't happen, then it is known as our comparative graph. So in this graph, the type of chart doesn't change over time. Okay, so the time doesn't have any role to play here. What we need to do, similarly like we did in the previous ones, we will be going to write an introduction of it. Introduction and overview we won't be discussing in this class, because for the 3 last classes we have spent so much time on writing basically our introduction and overview. So I actually suppose that if you have seen those very nicely, you will be having a great idea till now that how to write an introduction overview. Just what I'll say is that for the introduction, we need to paraphrase. It means that we are going to use same question. We will be using some other wordings to write the same question, right? That is what we do in introduction. Then we will write a overview. Here in the overview, we will compare that this is higher than this, or whatever is the biggest development over the period, that is what we are going to write. So overview is basically the main idea that okay, the most significant change or most significant thing that I can see here is basically our this is our uh, overview, right? Then it comes our details. We need to go deep into our graph and we have to see that okay, what are the details. First thing that you need to do is that you need to think about what you will write in the introduction. Okay, so before you actually go and write, you need to see that okay, what you're going to write in your introduction. Second, what are the differences between whatever the data is given. Third, how you can group the data. So what you basically need to do is you need to pick up the data and group it in such a way that you can make 2 body paragraphs out of it, right? We need to make 2 body paragraphs. So what we need to do is we need to group those data together and then we have to use it. Next, you have to see that what grammar and vocabulary you will be using over here. So example of a comparative graph, what is क्या होता है basically comparative graphs? This is a comparative graph. Here what is happening, there are 2 bakeries given. First is Lovely Loaves and second is Bernie's Bun. So what is happening in these two, there are different things that they are selling. Okay, the graph shows data about the average Saturday sales of 2 bakeries in London in 2010. So the period remains same, the country remain or the city remains same, the day even remains same. Just the thing is that there are a lot of items that both the bakeries sell, and we have to compare that okay, what is actually happening. So if we see it nicely, first of all, what we'll see, we won't go to the values because we have to write the overview. We'll just see from upwards that okay, what are the different things. So what I can see is that in the first one, blue one is quite higher than the pink one. It means that Bernie's Bun sale is much higher than the Lovely Loaves. second one same, third one same, fourth is different, fifth is different, sixth is different. So three are different, but five are having more sales, and those sales are not much, even sales are very less for those basically items too. So this is what we can see, that okay, for five items it is higher, the bunnies buns is higher, whereas for three things the blue one sorry, the pink one, that is lovely loaves, is higher. So this is basically what we'll see, that okay, this is the main difference that we can overall look at. Next thing, let's analyze the graph. So how you will analyze the graph is, let's start with the first one. Let's read the first statement together, and then we'll see that okay, what should be the answer. On a typical Saturday, Bernie's buns is generally busier than lovely loaves. So if we look at an overall, then the sale of blue one is much higher than the pink one. So yes, that is correct. First of all, the bars are much higher. Second thing, in five items are sold much more than the three items that are sold more by the lovely loaves, right? So basically the first statement is true. Now this can be our overview. In our overview, we can write that in an overview, it can be seen that on a typical on a typical Saturday, Bernie's buns is generally busier than lovely loaves, right? It would be our first sentence of overview. We need to write one more. Now what we can do is we can pick something similar also. So it's not necessary that it should be different only. What we can do is we can pick up some similar things also. For example, in the second, donuts are by far the most popular item among the customers in both the stores. So if we look at both the stores, okay, and we look at donuts, what are the donuts? The last one, right? The last one is basically our donuts. So we can see here that if we talk about the donuts, it is higher than any of other items, right? And for both the bakeries, blue one, this is the highest, pink one, this is the highest. So we can see that overall, yes, donuts are the highest. This could be our second statement that we can also write in our overview. Secondly, or further, use some connector, right? Further, donuts are by far the most popular item among customer in both stores, right? So this is our second question. Third one, the second best selling item in Bernie's buns is cookies. So if we talk about the Bernie's buns, I am sorry. If we talk about the Bernie's bun, the second most sold item is cookies. So if I see these, this is the second most sales and this is cookies. So yes, it is true, right? So these are some of the statements that will help us to analyze. Of course, the statements won't be written in the exam, but this is what you need to basically think. And these are the statements that you need to see. Fresh loaves are the least popular snack overall. Okay, so least popular. Let's see what is the least popular snack. So according to me, for Bernie's buns, it is salads, whereas for lovely loaves, it is toasted sandwich. So salads and toasted sandwiches, but here it was written fresh loaves. So no, it is incorrect. Lovely Loaf sells slightly more salads than Bernie buns. Okay. Lovely salads, Lovely Loaves sell a lot more salads than Bernie buns. Here they have written slightly more. It is not slightly. We can say that if they are selling 20 buns, they are selling 60 buns. It's triple. So we cannot use the word here. We won't be able to use the word slightly. So these are the words you need to take care of, that which word you are using. Next, toasted sandwiches are as popular as cookies. So if we see here, what are the toasted sandwiches? Toasted sandwiches, where are these? These are as popular as cookies. No, not at all. These are so less and these are quite more. So no, it is also false. See, now this is how you need to compare. These are the statements that you need to think in your mind that okay, it is not same. It is different. Okay. Next thing that we need to know, do is basically the languages. Now the language that you use for comparison is about like very different if we compare to something that we use in our year one, because we use the vocabulary that we use in line graph, that it is increasing, it is decreasing, right? So basically if I talk about graph, most of the students prepare only the trend one vocabulary, like maybe they'll learn the words like what are the synonym of increase, what are the synonym of decrease, highest, lowest, right? But when you have to make comparisons and you do not have any kind of uh, increase decrease here, then what vocabulary you need to use? So we'll do that today. So first vocabulary is basically when we are comparing in any, let it be line graph, bar graph, pie chart, table. If it is a basically something like this in which we are not having any trends, we need to compare two values, then we need to use is, first thing that we need to use is a comparative and a superlative degree. Now what is a comparative and a superlative degree? First of all, these are adjectives. Okay, these are adjectives. And comparative is when you compare two things. Okay, when you are comparing two things, you will be use the word compare, and the wording that you use is either with comparative you put er with any word, or you put more or less. That is basically comparative degree, and when only two things are involved. Now if we want to say that this thing is the highest, so for comparing with all the things and saying that okay, this one is the highest, then we have to use a superlative degree. So superlative degree is something that we use to denote highest value. So here we'll use the, then we'll use the adjective, and then we'll put either est or ist. The most or here we'll use the most or the least plus the adjective. So let's see over here. For example, if we use the word busy, so if we have to make comparison, we'll say busier, or we can also put the busiest for superlative. Okay, so either we'll put busier or we'll put the busiest. Now it is never comfortier. Okay, nothing, there's no word like that. So that's why with comfortable we will use more comfortable. So out of these words you need to know that where you have to put a er and where you have to put a basically more or less, right? If you have to do that. So here is a table that will help you to analyze it. If we have to make comparisons, right, we use er, so we can use with busier, cheaper, easier, for example. But if we have to say comfortable, then we have to say either more comfortable or less comfortable, more common or less common, right, less crowded. So these are the basically words that we use for comparative degree. You can read it later. If anyone wants, they can take a screenshot of the screen. Right now I'm showing the comparative table. Next, moving on to the superlative. In the superlative, uh, okay, so superlative, for the superlative we need to use superlative for the, when we are saying that this is the highest position. So if we say donuts are the highest, are sold highest on in both the bakeries, right? So we have to use that, we can use it is highest, est, right? We are using at the end we are using est. It means we are using a superlative degree. So the busiest, the cheapest, the easiest, the farthest, these are the some words that you have to use in superlative. The most, the least, the adjective, or you have to use the most comfortable, the least common. Also, when you are using a superlative degree, you need to put a the. What does the means? The means that it is quite higher in value. Whenever someone is at a higher position, when someone is at a higher authoritative degree or a figure, then we always put a the to specify that. So of course only one thing will be the highest. So if only one thing is the highest, we will be using the word the with it, the busiest, the comfortable, right? So this is what we need to do. You can take a screenshot of it also, and then we'll move ahead, right? Of course, this video will be available after the class too, so if you guys want to take a screenshot after, you can do too. Now here is a exercise for you. Let's do this exercise very quickly. Okay, we have to do a lot of things, so I need a very quick response for you. So say whether these words relate to small differences or big differences, right? So what you need to do is look at the chart and write it in your own words. So if I talk about coffee in UK is expensive and France, okay, so I am saying that in UK this is the basically price of coffee, it is 2.9, in France it is 2. So what I need to do is, what you guys need to do is make a proper sentence of first one only. Coffee in the UK, expensive France. I want you guys to make a proper sentence out of it. Also, you can use the word with expensive. What word we use? We either use less expensive or more expensive. Now, when we say less expensive or more expensive, tell me that from 2 to 2.9, what are your views? Is it more expensive or it is less expensive? Then talk about cheaper. What word we use? We use cheaper, right? We won't use more or most. We will or less. We will just use cheaper, right? So this is what you need to do. Tell me that what word you will be using. Then you have to next do this exercise. Just do the first two. The most expensive coffee is in dash at this. So you have to fill in the blanks. Second, this is the fill in the blanks that you need to do. Okay, I need a very quick response. Do not shy away. I have 19 people in my class watching right now, so I need that 19 people should answer this. Do not shy away. No one is going to mock you, no one is going to judge you. Just try to do your best. Okay, these are the things that will help you learn. Only you will grasp these if you do it properly. Okay, so till everybody answers, let me just let me answer a few people. So Paras Bhatia, if you are in the class, some trainers say overall should be written at the end of the task, but say it can be written before the body paragraph one. What are the views on it? Overall should always be written at like after the introduction and before the body paragraph one, because see what the overall mean. Overall means that whatever we are going to discuss in the next paragraph, we are giving you a gist of it before that. Okay, so that is what overall means. If we write it at the end, at the end we will always write, we won't be even writing overall, we always write conclusion, but conclusion is not needed in a writing task one, it is not marked. So it is overview should always be written after the introduction, or you won't get more than 5 band in your task achievement in your part 1. Okay, so that is the proper thing. Baljinder Singh, IELTS indicator can be valid for college. You need to check a particular college website for the language requirement, that are they accepting right now or not. For visa, it is not valid. Mandeep, if you are just starting your preparation, I would recommend that start from the first video. Avoid the videos that are for GT. There are 2 videos only in that category for GT. You can avoid those, right? Okay, now let's start and let's discuss. Harsh is saying in UK the coffee is more expensive than France. Okay, great. First one UK. Okay, don't you guys think we should put the UK? What are your views? Kiran, UK. Okay. Second is France. The second most expensive is in France, where it cost 1.9. If you write 1.9, Harsh, it will be incorrect because you need to put the sign. Okay, so always remember you need to put the sign, put a pound sign in it. Second France, comma 2. Yeah, exactly. It is 2. Why you have written 1.9, Harsh? It is 2 pounds. First one, Sneha is saying UK. Okay, where is these answers? You have to answer these also, first and second. Either at least write the first one. Second, France. Spelling of France is wrong, Sneha. UK. Third, Spain. Okay, let's go and discuss it now. Why are you writing more? Okay, so the first that we can write is coffee in the UK. It is very important. With UK always comes the. You need to remember it. It is a very big mistake that a lot of students do with UK, US, and UAE. So whenever a country is in abbreviation, UK is not the full name of the country, right? It is United Kingdom. Similarly for USA, it is United States of America. Similarly for UAE, right? These are basically abbreviations of country. When we write abbreviations of a country, we will always put the, and we won't put the with any country's name. Let it be even America. If we write America, then we won't write the America. It will only be America. Okay, we won't put the Canada or the India. We won't do that. Just with the abbreviations of the country, we need to always put the. So the answer would be the UK, not UK. Okay, always remember that, because for writing task 1, there are always like UK, USA. These are basically so common countries that they mostly put these in our question, and at that time most of the students do this wrong. So always remember, you have to put a the every time you write UK. Okay, always it will be the UK only, no matter you have written it 20 times in your writing task 1. Similarly for USA, for UAE, any country with the abbreviation, you have to put a the before it. So the answer would be coffee in the UK is much more expensive than in France. Then for the 7th one, it is the UK. So everyone who is answering UK, it will be wrong. It should be the UK. Second, France. Okay, some people have written the spelling of France wrong. So the France, you have to write the spelling correct. Also with 2, you always have to either write the sign, or you have to basically put in written form, you need to write pounds. Okay, if you do not do that, your answer will be, if you write only 2, so whenever similar thing, whenever in your answer you are writing some percentage, you will always put a percentage sign. Whenever you are writing a currency, you will always put the sign of it, or you will put always dollars, no matter you have written it 20 times in your writing task 1. The one time you didn't write it, that is wrong. Okay, so you need to always remember these things. Next is how to, basically first thing you know now, that first thing what we will do, either we will use a comparative or we will use a superlative degree to write it in a proper sentence, whatever our two values are. The second way, second structure how to do is, you can also write it as not. X is not as, whatever the adjective it, let it be expensive, let it be costly, whatever you have to write, as Y. So you can simply write, think it as coffee in France is not as expensive as UK. So basically, when it comes to our writing task 1, we need to use a lot of structures. If every sentence you write is similar, then you won't be able to get score in it. So what we are doing, second way to do it, first comparative and superlative degree. Second is, we will use not with it. X is not as dash as Y. Coffee in France is not as expensive in U as in UK, the UK, right? So first of all, let's see this. Okay, everyone quickly go on and write this sentence in the form of this one. Okay, so the Fraton Road Library was less busy than the one in the Commercial Road in March. Write it in this form. The Fraton Road Library, you have to complete it. Okay, quickly do this. I'm giving you 1 minute, just one sentence to do. Do it very quickly. Heather, how are you using R with less? You will never use R with less. It's wrong. Please try to correct it. Then we'll discuss the proper one. And you do not, okay. And you have to use the word not. That is the whole purpose. You need to put a word not over there. You have to reframe the question to put, and you have to put not in it. Okay. Okay. Sneha, the Fraternal Library is not as busy as the one in the commercial road in March. Great, everyone. You will not, Sneha, you cannot change is and is with was. So if in the question it was, it is past tense, then you will write the past tense only. It was. Okay. Similarly, we have to use the same structure to write the sentence of these pairs. For example, hamburgers 2 pounds, French fries 1.90 pound. Okay. What is, so one question for you guys is, what is known as the, this is known as paisa in like what in India. So after 0.9, what is 0.90 called? Like it is known as cents in with dollars. So in pounds, what is 0.90 called? Tell me that. Quickly. Okay. So till other people answer, let's see this. The Fratton Road Library was not as busy as the one in the Commercial Road in March, right? In the Commercial Road, it won't be the Commercial Road, Sneha. You do not have to put the with Commercial Road, because it is not a, like, it is not a, like a name that would be like only once used, right? Names can be repeated. You cannot use the with names. French fries. So what you will do is, see, the value here is hamburgers 2 pounds, French fries 9. No, it is not known as bucks. Not, no, it's not known as bucks. French fries 1.90. So French fries are not as expensive as hamburgers. Northern trains are not as fast as southern trains. So if you have these values, southern trains 125 mph, northern trains 100 mph, then you can simply write as northern trains are not as fast as southern trains. So these are the words that you need to use. So no one knows what is known as pounds. It is so common listening vocabulary. I always teach it to my students that what is 0.90 or what is these words. Okay, moving ahead, you have to look at the chart, and what you can do is make, no, it is not known as cent. Cent is known in America with dollar. We use like, for example, if it will be in dollars, so I would say maybe $1.90. So that is in America. What it is known as in UK with pound, what is known as. Okay. So look at this chart, and you have to use same sentence, same words, like same comparative degree to use this. Mayuri, your word is correct, but the spelling is wrong. It is not known as pennies. It's something similar. Penny, no. Not penny. Something very, very similar. You need to know this in your, when it comes to your IELTS listening, then they say it sometimes that, okay. So we have to look at this chart and write 3 sentences about the data using the same, what we have to use? We have to use same we have to use same, not here. Okay, so if we say let's take 30% and 25%, right? So we can write science is not as popular as physical education, right? So that is what we need to do. So what we can see, here are the colors given and here is a pie chart given. So first of all, we'll see that, okay, what it is. Very good, Harsh. I know that you have done a lot of Google for it, but very good. That's the correct answer. So the word is pence, P-E-N-C-E. If you use with pounds, like it is 1 pound, 9 pence or 90 pence. So it's pence. Okay, so here what we'll do is, so you have a basically circle like this is known as pie chart. So when it comes to this, what you need to do is you have to compare two things. First, we can use the comparative degree, ER, and for physical education we can use that the favorite subject of most of the boys is physical education, right? Then we can use ER. We can also use as not as. So geography is not as popular as mathematics. So that could be your one sentence, right? We need to pick up sentences and write. This is what we need to do, right? So here are the answers. Now coming to the next one, here is a homework for you guys. After the class, take a screenshot of it and after the class solve it and put it in the comment section. I would check it for you, right? I would check that you have written it right or not. So you have to basically rewrite these sentences in your own words. We have a lot to do. Let's go bit quickly. Okay, next thing that you need to know is that which phrases are bigger and which are the small ones. So if we talk about this one, okay, first one, let's do two only. So X is or was not quite as expensive as Y. So tell me, if I'm writing not quite as, so is it a big difference or is it a small difference? Second, X is or was not nearly as expensive as Y. Is it a small difference or is it a big difference? Quickly. Small or big? Some other words that we use are, Paras, the word overall and conclusion sound same. No, those are not same. Overview and overall are same. Okay, so if we use not quite as, what it will be? So not quite as would be a small difference, that it is not quite as expensive as Y. So the difference is very less. If we say X was not nearly as expensive as Y, so this is a big difference, right? So you need to know about these words. You need to see very nicely that, okay, which is a big difference, what is a small difference. Now let's come ahead and see some advanced comparative degree, right? What are some advanced sentences that you can make? So let's see this one. First, this is, we will put a not, put a verb, then put as, then put a phrase, and then put as. Okay. Basically, what is Clunia's PLC did not sell as many CDs as Monster Hit Records in 1990 with 225000 compared to 230000. Okay, so this is what we can do. We will put a not, so we can put did not, does not, whatever it makes sense to you. So some vocabulary along with it, what we are doing, we are using compared to, okay, and respectively. So these are some words that you can use. So what we can put is not, then whatever is the verb, verb will be what is the action happening. So here they are selling things, here they are talking about the cost. So whatever the action is, that is the verb. Then we put as noun phrase. Noun phrase is basically not as many, much. These are basically a noun phrases, many, much. Then we put as, okay, many CDs, as much as. So we will be using some word, put as, and then compare. So basically we will compare two things in it, the first one with the second one. So we'll say that it does not sell that much CDs as the second one. right? So this is another one. This you can do as a homework, and similarly you can put it as a like in the comment section, and I will check it for you. Here are the answers too, so that you can check it later on. Do not see it right now. Next are some are linking words. When it comes to our linking words, there are words that we need to, now we saw that okay, how we have to write our sentences, how we are comparing two things. But when it comes to our writing task one, we need, along with comparing things, we need to put them together too. Okay, so here what words we are using, there are 4 useful linking devices, and we will, and first of all we will find it. The first answer, the first one is Monster Hit Records sold 230,000 CDs in 1990, while Cluner's PLC sold 225,000. Okay, so we are putting while in between. Next, Monster Hit Records sold 230,000 CDs in 1990, as opposed to Cluner's PLC, who sold 225,000. Okay, so these are some connectors, while, as opposed to. Similarly, we are using whereas and compared to. These are some of the connectors we do. When you see these sentences, basically what is the second difference that you see? The sentence, the first sentence, a part of the first sentence and the a part of second sentence are completely same, but the b part are different. What is the basic difference between it? We have to discuss that, because you can make this grammatical error. So if we see from the next one, what happens, basically whereas and while are basically followed by subject and verb. We will just put a subject and verb with it. So what we did, we put subject, Krunel's PLC, and we put a sold with it. Okay, what is sold? Sold is basically our word, that is our action. Okay, what is the action happening? The things are selling there. So what is the word that we will be used? We will be putting sold. Next, if we see as compared to, or what is the second sentence that we are using? Compared to and as opposed to. So in these two, what we can see, we have also put a who with it. What is a who? Who is the subject, plus we have to put a relative clause. So as opposed to Cluner's PLC, who sold, here we'll put a who with it. So it's a relative clause. It's a grammatical thing that you need to remember. Similarly, you will correct these sentences and do it as a homework. Do this slide also as a homework. I'll do one question with you. Just 10% of the first time buyers said they needed a garbage, as opposed to 30% who said a large kitchen was necessary. Okay, so wherever we are using as supposed to, we'll put who. And if we read this one, just 10% of first time buyers said they need a garbage, whereas 30% said a large kitchen was necessary. So here we would cut the who. So these are the mistakes that you need to take care of. What vocab we learned? We learned we can put first, comparative and superlative degree. Second, the words with not. Third, what we did after that, we did this one, not plus verb plus as plus noun phrase plus as, right? This was our fourth one. Fifth we did today is our linkers. What are the linkers? While, as opposed to, whereas, compared to. Then what words we need to use? Where we have to use a relative clause. Relative clause here is basically who. So where we have to use who and where we haven't, that we have discussed, right? So this you would do as a homework. Next, coming to a very important thing. Here when we come, so what we were doing in the trends one, we were using vocabulary like increase, decrease, less, more. So that is what we were doing in that one. Now if we come to our describing numbers, here we won't be basically using same data. Okay, if you are writing 50%, 50%, 60%, 70%, 80%. What is that? That is basically a repetition that you are making, right? So this is what you need to see, that you need to avoid repetition. Okay, you will be given extra marks in your lexical resource if you show a wider range of vocabulary. So here we are going to do this, that we will be using a wider vocabulary. So let's match these percentage. So if we say 50, which out of these is 50? Two-third, no, two-third would be something like 33.33%. So D1, half, yes. So 50% would be half. If we talk about 25%, it will be a quarter or 1/4. So quarter is basically 1/4. So if we talk about 100%, 1/4 will be 25%. What about time? So tell me, how many minutes are 1/4? Okay, this is a question for you. How many minutes is 1/4? Next, 75%. Now we can write it as 3/4. Okay, either what we can write it as 3/4. 40%. Now what we'll think is, what is 40% now? 40%, how can we write 40%? Tell me, how can we write 40%? There is no vocabulary for 40%. What do you think? Third is 15. What are you saying third is 15? You are solving these ones. We are doing fifth one. So if I talk about 40%, 40% is basically known as, what it is known as? 50, 14, 15. Yes, Neha. So 1/4 in minutes is 15 minutes. So when you listen in your listening exam, they say 1/4 of time. It means that they are basically saying are 15 minutes. Okay. So 40% is your 2/5. Okay. 2/5 into 100. What you will get? You will get 50%. So these are some of the vocabulary that you need to know, especially for the who do not belong to like mathematical background. For them, knowing this vocabulary is most important, right? We need to see that, okay, what we'll say. What is 2/3? What is 2/3? 3/4, third, half. Okay, approximately 2/3 of the parents. What is now 2/3? Here is also 2/3, right? So basically our 2/3, what is 1/3? 1/3 is 33.33%. 2/3 is 66.6%. So this is what you need to, these are the things what you need to learn in your writing task 1. You need to know that, okay, what is basically are these numbers. Okay, next thing, how you are going to write this in words is, for example, if I say 32% smokers, there are 32% smokers. So what I'll write it as, just under a third of all smokers said they smoked fewer than 20 cigarettes a day. So we put 32 as just under a third. Okay, what we'll write? 52, just above 50. So these are the basic vocabulary that you need to know so that you can get good marks. Now see, there is 10%. Okay, there are multiple ways to write 10%. What are the different ways to that we can just write 10% in our exam? 10% is basically a tenth of 1 in 10, 1 out of 10, right? Because we are writing percentage sign. What is a percentage? Percentage is always out of 100. So 10% means 1 out of 100, right? Sorry, 10 out of 100. So what we can write, a tenth of 1 in 10, 1 out of 10, 1 out of every 10. You can also write as 10 out of 100. So these are some of the wordings that you need to use for numbers so that you can write it very efficiently in your exam, right? Here are the answers for the previous slide. If you want to read it, you can read it later. Now let's come to this one. Now we have done a lot of vocabulary. We have done a lot of structures that, okay, these are the things that we need to know. Let's now read a proper sample, that which sample we have to do. Then I will take all your questions. We will have a quick Q&A session. You can ask me all the doubts and we can discuss further, right? So if we talk about that, first sentence, our introduction, this bar graph, right? We have to always put the name of the graph, which kind of graph it is. It is a bar graph. Compares, okay, the most popular item sold by two bakeries in London on a typical Saturday in 2010. So what we are doing, the bar graph compares two most popular items sold by two bakeries in London on a typical Saturday in 2010. This will be our complete introduction. Then we need to write an overview. We will put some more items in it. We can also put that, okay, what are the things discussing? So we'll put the graph shows average sales of 8 items, including cakes, rolls, toasted sandwiches in Bernie's buns and lovely loaves. Okay. So we wrote names of a few because we have written including. We won't write etc., so on, and many more. These are some words that you will never use in your formal writing. And your task 1 and your task 2 should be 100% formal. We won't be using etc., many more, and such as, no, sorry, you can use such as, I mean, like in, and so on. So you won't be using in, not in writing task 1, not in writing task 2. Then we have to write a overall. Overall, it can be seen that Bernie's Bun is generally the busiest bakery, outselling Lovely Loaves in 6 out of 8 items. Okay, so we counted that, okay, these are the number of items. Didn't we counted 5? 5 out of 3, one more. On the whole, savory foods such as toasted sandwich, salad, rolls are not so popular as sweet items like cakes and cookies. So this is what you need to analyze. You can use words like this, savory foods and maybe sweet items. So this is how you show the vocabulary. Now let's start and let's see how they're comparing. In terms of sales at Bernie Buns, donuts come top of the list with an average of around 135 sold on Saturdays. So this is basically a superlative degree. We use the word come on top of list. Okay, we used a sentence in superlative degree that this was the highest. Cookies and cakes are the next bestsellers with around 115 and 100 of these snacks sold respectively. Second word that you can use is respectively. Put two words, put a and in between and put a respectively. What does respectively means? That whatever we were talking before. So for example, we were talking cookies and cakes. So 115 will be of cookies and 100 will be of cake. So it should be in the same sequence only. Savory foods are least popular, less popular. Bernie's Bun sells slightly more rolls than crepes, with roughly 75 of each leaving the shelves. What we did now, we use the word slightly more. This is our comparative degree, right? When we need to show a lot of sentence formation, here we are using a comparative degree. Toasted sandwich and salads are not nearly as popular with just 25 and 18 sold in turn. What we saw here, we are using are not nearly as possible. So we did one sentence of not. Okay, how we have to use not, we are using that also in this. Next paragraph, donuts are also the, so basically if I talk about one paragraph, if you write 2 to 3 comparative sentences, like 3 comparative sentences are more than enough. You do not need to write a lot of sentences, 3 are complete. Donuts are also the number 1 purchase in Lovely Loaves with just over 120 sold on Saturday. Cookies are third at around 65 sales. Salads come next with just over 60. 3 times as many as. Okay, what we are doing 3 times. First of all, we are using 3 times. They want to be writing in the graph. They are not saying 3 times. This is what we are comparing. Okay, so instead of writing the percentage or instead of writing the number, what we are doing writing 3 times as many as. So we did one, that we what we'll do, we'll put as, then we'll put a verb, then we will put a next thing. Okay, so we are using as many as are sold in Bunny Buns. Rolls and fresh loaves are joined fifth with 50 sale a piece, followed by crisps at approximately 45%. The least popular item in Lovely Loaves is toasted sandwich with around 25%, 25 sale. Okay. This is a proper writing task one where we showed our vocabulary through connectors. How connectors in terms of sale, as many as, right? We are using a lot of linking words. We are using a lot of vocabulary. We are using a variety of sentences by using superlative degree, comparative degree, as many as, and we did a lot of basically sentence structure. If you remember 5 to 6 sentence structure for the exam, you are good enough to go. You do not need anything else, right? Remember 4 to 5 such structures, like whatever we did in class, just remember those. Write at least one sentence with all of these and your whole answer will be complete. Nothing more to do. In those 4 to 5 comparisons, your whole answer will be completed and you don't need to do any more. Use words like approximately, just over, slightly, not nearly as popular. So these are some words respectively, least. So these are some words that tell us that, okay, yes, what we are doing and how we are going, right? That is all for today's class. I hope that you understood a lot from this. You will apply these things in your exam and you will get excellent marks in your exam. Okay. Okay, now please, before going, if you are new to my channel, do subscribe the channel. There will be a bell button next to the subscribe. Put that button to all so that you get notified whenever I come live. Please like the video before going and do your homework in the comment section. Do not forget that. Okay, now I would take all your doubts, whatever doubts you have, whatever inquiries you have, I will be happy to answer that. So let's go to the inquiry, whatever queries you have. Amar Singh, I am not a licensed IRC of anyone, like not a registered any, like not an expert in it, I would say. Okay, Arnav Singh. Okay, I'm not an expert in courses. If you have something, if you are interested something related to science, I can tell that okay, these courses are better than other one. But if you guys want, I can make a video on it. So basically in the video I can show you guys that how basically we work, right? How basically you have to research for your program, that which course is better in Canada. I have done myself research for going to Canada, so that's why uh, I know a lot about it. I can surely share it with you that okay, this is how you have to do it. Now tell me, anyone is having any doubts? I would be happy to answer. Okay, I hope you guys have joined my Telegram link. Okay, and let me know how, if you like the class, and if you like the class or not, and if whatever doubts you are having, I will be happy to answer. Lalit, please tell me what is your exact problem in listening. If you'll just say me, tell me some tips in listening. I can, like, I am in my paid lecture, I'm teaching from 3 or 4 days listening only. So there is a lot to do in listening. I cannot say it like that, that okay, this is what you need. Okay. Okay, sure. I would try to put up a video in which you can, I will show you that which websites you can go to and how you can basically check that which course is having much bigger scope and in which province, right? Okay, anything else? Saroj, what is the maximum amount of vocabulary? There is no limit to vocabulary. What a vocabulary? Vocabulary is basically words. You need to write 150 words. So there is 150 vocabulary in it. There is no limit to vocabulary. There is nothing like maximum vocabulary. Okay, and please, if anyone tells you that you do what you have to, yeah, so I answered your answered it. uh Sarol, I answered it. Okay, there is no maximum amount. If we talk about vocabulary, if you use proper connectors, you use multiple like structures like these, you use words like respectively, amounting to, and like words like this. Okay, these words will totally enhance your writing. Okay, so that is it for today's class. If anyone is having any more doubts, please ask me. I will be happy to answer. What are any of your particular problems? So as I discussed before, that what we need to do is that, okay, so as I discussed before, that I'm planning from next to next week, maybe from 14th June, uh, or maybe next month, I would be teaching writing task to live. Okay, and instead of having class every Saturday, I would try to come more often, like maybe on alternate days, because I understand that doing writing task one is fine, but if we do writing task two like this, it will be really difficult. So if I talk about the next class will be upon map questions, all the map and the diagram, how to do it in our writing task one. That will be our next class, and then I'll let you know that when we are starting with the writing task two, in which I will be teaching you a complete writing task two, that how you have to do it in complete detail so that you can properly do it, right? Telegram link. Okay, I can share it with you. Give me just a second. Okay, so I'm sharing the Telegram link with you so that if anyone is on Telegram, you can do that. Otherwise, you can always go and also one thing, that if any of you is in my older Telegram groups, I ask, like I urge you, please join the new one. My Telegram group on basically Telegram group name is IELTS with Kajal official. Okay, that is my official group. If someone is in IELTS with Kajal, I would ask them to please join the new group, because in the older group I do not have access of it anymore, because I have changed my number, so that's why. Okay, I have shared the link of my Telegram group, so if anyone wants to join they can. I share material with them regularly, and when I come up with new classes, I generally discuss that, okay, what topic it should be and everything, so we can do that over there, right? Also, there is a join button on my channel. You can see the perks over there, that what are the perks that you can get. Okay, what are the perks that you can get from the join button, and I will be happy to answer this. Okay. Okay, everyone, that is it for today's class. I hope you enjoyed and learned a lot. Thank you for joining in. I hope that you would see my older videos to give some support to my channel. Okay, and I would see you really soon. So there are two questions that I would answer. Yes. Okay. Lalit ma'am, for 7 months, how many correct answers I have to give in listening? I did samples of listening. First goes very slow, then it goes very slow. But cannot pause it. Yes, you cannot pause and rewind. And with every section, yes, the audio gets a bit difficult. And for 7 months, I guess you need 30 marks or something, like that's 2 mark. It is basically 2 marks, so I guess, yeah, 30 is something I guess you need for your 7 band in your listening. So even though ma'am, even though we maintain each and every structure of writing task, then why our score is low? So Rose, it depends that how you're doing it. Maybe you're making grammatical errors. There is something that would be lacking. You can like get it checked by a certified IELTS trainer, like I am. Okay, you can get it checked by any certified IELTS trainer. They will tell you that okay, you're making mistake in this particular part. Okay, you need to know that okay, either where are you lacking? Are you lacking in grammar? Are you lacking in vocabulary? Are you lacking in task achievement? Okay, what where you are lacking, you have to do that. The link is not working. Why? Okay, also I would be launching. The link is working. It's working fine. Okay, its name, my Telegram group name is IELTS with Kajal Official with a heart. Okay, you can join it, and I would share the link again in case it's not working, but otherwise I think it's working. It should be working fine. Great, Gagan. Welcome to the channel. So get yourselves checked, your writing checked. I'm so sorry, and do subscribe to the channel. I hope that you watched today's video complete. And Gagan, you have joined late. It's time to end the class, but do watch this video. It's very. It will be really helpful for you, and you will learn a lot. Okay. I would see you guys really soon. Bye bye. Take care. Bye bye.